All right, guys, this is what we have all been waiting for. Tonight on the gate for the aerial EU 450 round 12 main event from Seattle. Panda with Mick Creation, Stone Rider, Greg the Legend, Linz, Boardman, Reese, McChicken, Aiden, Evmuth, Carrie Owings. Keegan is here tonight. Barboza, Skills of the Backyard Factory MX team. Three Palms, Jams, Mountain Drew, Gaming Nub, Rubes, a.k.a. Ruben Calder, your previous series winner and #1 plate holder. Jones, DiGiorno's, and Noah. Man, that is a stacked gate. That is a scary lobby to be racing against. Holy crap, dude.
Every single person in there is ridiculously fast.
If this is your first time watching an aerial EU 450 main, this is probably the best one that you're going to see. Here we go. The gate is down. Who's going to grab the whole shot? We're locked on to Linz here because he's been doing it all season long. But he gets into it right off the start. Manages to keep it clean, but man, there is some chaos here. It might have actually, I was going to say it might have been Rubes who ended up taking away the whole shot, but Linz does manage to make his way out of the chaos, push himself up into a second place, and by corner number 3 is hot on the tail of Rubes. So tethered on he is. Going to try to figure out how he can get around. Look at Carrie Owings just blitzing the whoop section, making his way up. We have a 3-way battle for the #1 spot. Let's go on board with Linz here for a second and see what it's like.
Spoke with Rubes just a little bit. He acted like he was nervous about this track, but right now he's doing great. So see if he can hold off Linz. Linz going to come to the inside, take it from him. Oh no, and he goes down.
Linz steals that position away, pushes Rubes out. Rubes does end up going down, but gets back up on 2 wheels quickly. Carrie Owings hitting the OTB tough block, which you definitely do not want to do. And he makes a mistake in the rhythm section and goes down. Rubes there to capitalize. Not cleanly, though. Rubes does make it through the section alive. Here comes Reese on that Bud Racing Kawasaki trying to push his way up into a #2 spot. Wish Reese would send me his gear. Keegan on Mick Creations coming through the whoop section here in 4th. Carrie Owings now falls back to 5th. Take a look at lap times here as Linz is still not completely checked out, running a 1:35, so we'll need one more lap before we see what accurate lap times are. But nevertheless,
I believe he was running the fastest lap in qualifying.
Yeah, when I checked on his stream, he was running the fastest lap. But man, this Seattle track it's fast-paced. Like I said, I think most of the mistakes, as I was mentioning to you earlier, Barber, are going to be caused by the rider and not by the track. I know it sounds like most mistakes are rider mistakes, but still, I think people are just going to be getting they're not going to be...
Reese on the move right now on Rubes, sorry.
No, you're fine. Reese pushing through the whoop section here. Rubes did make a mistake in that previous rhythm section, which Linz did too, but since Rubes did as well, he wasn't able to make the pass for first. But Rubes' mistake allowed Reese to catch up, and we have a pretty heated battle here for second place. Keegan still lacking, or not lacking, just falling behind there just a little bit. So if Reese can't make his way around Rubes, and Rubes causes a little bit of a traffic jam here, then we could see a 3-way battle. Reese trying to take an optional line choice to the inside. Can't quite make it stick around Rubes. Rubes cases that jump. Reese gets a good drive through the section, and there he goes, moving up into #2. Keegan has made a mistake that has allowed Skills to get around, I believe. I hope Skills isn't getting lapped.
No, Skills has been sitting pretty good. He was sitting 6th when I chucked him just a little bit earlier. So Skills, another one running one of the faster laps in the lobby when I was looking earlier. So if he can hold it together, he might be able to stay up front up here.
All right, now let's take a look at lap times. Linz with a best lap of 48.5. Reese a 49.6. Rubes a 52. You know what, guys? I didn't even realize I don't even have my overlay on. Rubes a 52.2. Skills with a fastest lap of a 48.7. And Keegan a 50.5. So those are lap times for your top 5. Skills the fastest out of them, I believe. Maybe tied with Linz, but... nevertheless, all right, things are starting to space out a little bit, but nobody's comfortable yet. Anybody makes a mistake, and somebody's going to be there to capitalize. Let's take a look in the back here as Evmoof with Start Your Systems is sitting in 6th. Greg, the legend of Motomart, in 7th. Chicken trying to make his way around Kerry Owings for the 8th place spot. As he does, gets a good drive into the whoop section. Kerry sitting in 9th, and it's going to be Jams who rounds out your top 10.
Oh, no. Barboza, lapper, got in the way of Rubes, took him down, so now Skills is going to get around him and move his way up to 3rd.
3rd, yep. So there goes Skills, and Keegan got around too. So Keegan takes over 4th, Skills takes over 3rd, and Rubes gets pushed back to 5th. Here we go. Skills already on the tail end of the Bud Racing rider, so we're going to see if he can make a pass for 2nd here. It's been a while since we've seen Skills in the EU class for aerial, so he just kind of hopped in here today to see what he could get done, but he has been racing the North American version of this series, which will occur later tonight. So remember, if you're a fan of NA MX Bikes racing, there is an EU or an aerial race tonight. That'll be probably streamed by Benjison. Reese cases the triple. Skills goes by, moving himself up into the number 2 spot. Backyard Factory MX. It's just taking some time, boys, but we're moving to the top of the pyramid here. Just relax, settle in, okay? Skills is gonna hunt down Linz. It'll all be fine. Last lap there, a 49.8 from Skills. Fastest, a 48.7. But yeah, if you see timing and scoring on the left side of your screen there, as soon as it starts to act right, Linz currently has a 12-second gap over 2nd place, which is pretty in line with what Linz has been doing all series long.
Linz makes some mistakes and goes down before the big triple. It's going to cause him some time.
I just got to talk about him more. That's all I got to do, Skills. We're halfway there. Linz getting around Stone Rider here, trying to find his way around the man, the myth, the legend himself.
So a 9-second lead turned into a 4-second lead for Linz.
See if we have go on down with Skills here. Getting himself a good drive through the whoop section. All right. Go back here and take a look as Keegan is sitting in 3rd place, trying to figure out how to get through lap traffic here. Reese has now fallen back to 4th. Greg the Legend in 5th. So we are seeing a battle here for the 4th place spot between Greg and Reese. Reese casing that triple again. This inside line
now
there.
running the fastest lap box with a 47.4.
So he has found his way through the field. Probably has a little bit of a clean track now, but Greg gets around Reese. Greg moves himself up into the 4th place spot. So Reese is just kind of getting checked off here a little bit. Got to figure out what it is that he needs to do. Obviously capable of very fast laps, as his fastest is a 49.1, but consistency is playing a part in the Bud Racing Riders race here. We have seen Greg the Legend win an aerial EU 450 main event earlier this year. I cannot remember what track it was. It was, I think, round 5 that he won. So Greg, another rider that's perfectly capable of winning, but it's just really hard to dethrone Linz this season. As I say that, however, you can see that the gap that Linz had on Skills is starting to cut down. According to timing and scoring, it's only a 3.6 second gap. So the Backyard Factory MX rider may be putting on a hard charge here, trying to catch up and bring one home for the boys.
Man, it is crazy how fast these guys are. And what's even crazier is how stacked this lobby is, and Linz already lapping. It's been lapping.
Yeah, you can see Linz has already lapped up to 14th, indicated by timing and scoring on the left. A couple lappers coming up in the rhythm section that Skills is in, so we will see how he's able to fare out.
Thank you to all of you guys tuning in, man. We love to see a decent amount of people in here. A lot of work's put into this, and We love you guys hanging out with us.
Yep. Appreciate everybody viewing. Also, again, just a big thank you to Barber. It's so much better having a co-commentator. Yeah, appreciate it.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
All right. Still a pretty sizable gap here between Lens and Skills. Barber, if you can keep an eye on it, we will check back in just a little bit to see what is happening there.
Halfway through the moto.
Yep. Just over 10 minutes plus 1 lap remaining as Greg the Legend gets a good drive through the rhythm section, trying to make a pass on Keegan, and he does. Around the outside, the Motomart rider goes, tripling onto the table here and knocking Keegan back down another step. I believe that is going to put Greg in 3rd place once timing and scoring updates. Man, just again, another good run by Greg as he's hard charging through this field.
This is definitely a fast-paced Supercross track.
Yeah, it is. It's once you really, these guys master these tracks quicker than anybody, and once you really get the hang of it, I think it probably will be pretty easy to run consistent lines. Obviously, lap traffic and having to deviate your line choice based on that. Oh, as Keegan makes a mistake and goes down, tries to step off of the table and single over, but can't get it. Dips the front in and pays the price. But fortunately for him, his next nearest rider is nowhere ready to capitalize, so he does maintain his 4th place position. Lynn's starting to put some gap back in on Skills, as Skills was only 3 seconds back and is now 9 seconds back. So Lynn's just starting to check out once more. EvMove of Start Your Systems is currently rounding out the top 5. Can the KTM rider make his way up and try to catch Keegan? We will find out. Reese, after having a very good start, falls back to 6th now. Longtime friend Mick Chicken of the Big Bart KTM team and another moderator who helps run this series is currently sitting in 7th. Jams in 8th. Boardman, your Anaheim 1 race winner on that Pin Performance gas machine, crossing the finish line currently in 8th, actually, because Jams has cut. So Jams going to get credited with 9th. Maybe even more. Nope, yep. All right, Rubes in 10th. And looky there, just as we start making our way through the field, the Mick Creations rider, currently sitting in the number 1 spot, enters the scene to lap this traffic. And unfortunately for Rubes, he has fallen so far back that he just got lapped by Linz. He was right there in the thick of it earlier this race, and now he is down bad. We'll go on board with Linz here.
Skills just got passed by Greg the Legend, so Greg the Legend moving his way up to 2nd. Skills starting to fall apart here.
Yeah, I think something must have happened to Skills earlier, which caused him to get that 9-second gap between himself and Linz, and something else may have happened additionally that allowed Greg to catch up. But Greg the Legend, who earlier was given the shout out of being in 5th place, has now moved his way up into 2nd. So just goes to show that as long as you can stay focused, keep your head down, and keep it up on 2 wheels, anything is possible with a 20-minute main event. Even Keegan has now gotten around Skills, as Keegan now sits in the 3rd and final podium spot, and the Backyard Factory MX rider falls back to 4th.
Something Skills has always struggled with. He's probably one of, if not the fastest riders in this game, but he just can't manage to keep his consistency underway.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem for a lot of people, which it's very tough to do. There are so many circumstances that can cause issues in Supercross. But the one person who seems to be able to not have that problem, the one person who's been able to overcome it, is definitely Linz. I really don't know how the guy does it. He's just really good at looking down lane, figuring out what he's going to have to do in the upcoming rhythm, and navigating it properly, and it has literally paid off for the last 12 rounds. I know that Boardman has won a race, Greg the Legend has won a race, Jack won a race at Oakland, I think. So maybe maybe Linz has won like 8 or 9 of the 12 rounds so far, so of the 11 rounds so far. So he's just really been dominating, which, you know, it was going to be his time eventually. I think he started racing aerial last season, like the last half of last season in the 250 class, and then he joined 450s this year, as far as I'm aware, and it's just paid off for him. So
I'll tell you what I'd like to see is it's unfortunate that Pub Chap didn't manage to run this year, and I wish Dad Shoes could have found his groove, because I'd love to see those three going at it.
Linz making a mistake in the rhythm section. He's going to go down. It probably won't cost him a position, but you know how this game gets. When the mistakes start happening and you start snowballing, the worst can come true. So we'll go on board with Greg and see how he's going to navigate this lap traffic. Just under 5 minutes left, plus 1 lap to go. Another rider that I would really like to see have their day in the sun, their moment in the light this season is Aiden of K-Bell, as Greg is working on lapping him here. Aiden, another guy who won his first aerial AESX main event in round 17 last season, going down at that corner and over the bars. Aiden definitely has what it takes to be a front runner. He's just one of those guys that has the unfortunate circumstance of being fast and being capable, but just not being able to find the right amount of luck that he needs early in the moto to get out front. Because that's really what it is. It's just like real life. You've really got to get a good hole shot and minimize the amount of obstacles in your way early in the race. Linz can make that happen. There's a couple other riders who are usually found out front. They can make it happen, and what it really turns out to be is usually about a top 5 to top 7 finish each race, even if they don't have the best race. But man, when you're down in the 15, 16, all the way back to like 20th position right off the start, there is so much chaos that happens in front of you. It's almost impossible to make your way back up front, even if you're the fastest guy in the field.
I think something with Aiden as well is with this new beta update, he's kind of starting to struggle with bikes as he's on the Yamaha now, but he's known for the Suzuki and Supercross, so maybe that's something he's struggling with some right now.
Could be. Skills has now caught up to Keegan, or Keegan has fallen back to Skills, not sure. But nevertheless, we do have ourselves a battle for the 3rd place spot. Skills really barking on Keegan right now, trying to figure out how he can get around.
And that's another thing that he seems to struggle with some is impatience. So he just needs to sit there and ride his race, not to put too much pressure. Keegan, on the other hand, needs to ride defensively. Skills has got the speed, but if Keegan can just hold him off, Skills could make a mistake.
Yeah, Skills, you're right about the impatience. He's got to figure out a way around, and it has to be in a rhythm section, I think, and there he goes. Does get by Keegan with the better drive through that rhythm and puts himself back up into the 3rd place position. Keegan makes a mistake coming out of the whoop section, hits the double, gets squirrely, high sides it over. Oh no! Almost got into it with Evmoof there, as Evmoof was also hard charging through the whoops there, turns around and points at Keegan. There he goes. The SYS rider moves up into 4th place. Actually into 5th place. Keegan fell back hard enough that he lost positions to Chicken, Evmoof, and Boardman. So Chicken on the Big Bart KTM now sitting in 4th. Evmoof on the Start Your Systems KTM in 5th. Boardman of Pin Performance Gas in 6th. And Keegan falls back to 7th. Now, looking at timing and scoring, it's a pretty insurmountable gap that Skills has between himself and Greg. Greg being 7 seconds back from Linz. Skills being, another 27 seconds back from Greg. So if Skills is going to finish anywhere in this race, it's going to be third place. He just has to keep it up on two wheels and keep it consistent. 1 minute left now on the clock, plus 1 lap. So not too long here before we see the white flag come out for your race leader and the Mick Creations rider, who has lapped up to 9th.
Man, I tell you what, I'm really impressed with Greg's performance so far, man. He's really staying close to Linz, especially with how far he was back.
Linz gets a little squirrely coming out of that corner. Last thing he needs to do right now is go down with how hard Greg is charging. Linz last lap, a 49.8. His fastest, a 47.4. Dipped under the 48s there. Taking a look at Greg, his last, a 49.2. His fastest, a 48.5. So there is definitely a lot of work that Greg's going to have to do to catch up. But Linz, if he doesn't stay on the pipe here, then Greg could make it happen. This next lap around the finish is going to be the white flags waving for your race leader, and Greg is only 4.2 seconds back. Still a pretty sizable gap, especially with lap traffic coming up. But if we're going to see a battle for the lead, it's going to happen soon. Greg trying to get around Stone Rider here. Off in the background there went Linz. All right, we'll watch here and see if Linz can keep it clean and consistent for one more lap here at Seattle Supercross. The Aerial ESX 12th round has come and is now on its way out. Linz almost making a mistake there.
Oh, man, look how close Greg is.
Here we go, guys. What can Greg do here? Can he keep it clean?
Last lap.
I'm going to pull out here for just a second and see if we can get a better, just a wider shot. Nope. All right.
Jams, brother, next race, man. Please move out of the way for these guys.
And there you have it, guys. Linz on Mick Creations taking the checkered flag in the #1 spot. And with 1 lap to go, man, Greg was so close. If Linz hadn't handled the situation as well as he did when he made a mistake in that rhythm section, then that could have been Greg's race right then and there. Skills making a mistake on the last lap, going down in the whoop section. Is that going to allow Ev Move to catch up? Not quite. As long as Skills can hold on, he should be finishing and rounding out your podium here. Let's go. Backyard on the box, baby. Ev Move, start your systems. Crossing the finish line there in 4th. Boardman of Pin Performance with the heel clicker over the finish as he comes across in 5th. Chicken in 6th. Keegan is going to cross the finish line here in 7th, I believe. Maybe. I don't know where he's going. I don't know who could take it from him. Everybody else has already finished. There you go. Wow, what a race, man. That was actually insane.
That was, man. Woo!
All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to all these racers, guys. I just want to say it. I just want to take a moment to just preach for a second. MX Bikes needs this. It needs these series. It needs people like Stone Rider and McChicken who are trying to keep the competitive scene alive. It needs racers who want to show up and who want to race. It needs streams like this to help broadcast these events and broadcast these series and give new players something to hope for, something to grind for. Let's get this. Let's just keep it going. You know what I mean? Let's keep the competitive scene alive in MX Bikes every Friday, man, right here. And when Supercross is over, as far as I know, Stone Rider is going to be doing aerial outdoors. So just, you know, it's important to me. It's important to Barber, too. So let's get it. OTB, thank you for the follow. Echo Blaze, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the sub as well, man. Joaco RSC, thank you for the follow. Tan Man, I appreciate it. And Steel Rod, you fucking legend. Thank you for the bits, man.
Steel Rod, baby.
Yo, Joey or Jojo, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Yeah, thank you guys so much. It was awesome. Last week, the stream was kind of dead. I think we had what Vox had, 17, 18 people in there. It's nice looking down, seeing 50 of you guys in here. I know it's Good Friday. I hope all of you have a great Easter weekend. Like Vox said, super happy to be here. Super happy to see all you guys. Let's get MX Bikes back on track, guys. I love you all, and thank you for the support for me, myself, and as well as this series.
Well said. Spoken like a true boomer, man. Might go live tonight and do some fun races.